Last fall, I was utterly and completely lost. I had just come back from a very hard summer of work on a startup with my co-founder Sean Singh. And just a few weeks prior to that moment, we realized our startup was going to fail. With that, we decided to stop working on it, and by stopping work on it, I lost all sense of meaning and drive that I had. Without that startup to work on, I felt like I had no direction and all I wanted to do was drift. I remember the first week after realizing that it was going to fail, all I did was sleep in, I ate shit food, and I just didn't do anything productive. I just kind of needed a break, and I figured that the next week I would start to pick myself up again and get back into it and try and figure out what was next. And when the following week came, I decided that I would start work the week after instead. I mean, how much more harm could a week do? With that brought more shit food, more sleeping in, and more unproductivity. And pretty soon that week turned into months. My new normal became just eating fried foods and being extremely unhealthy and watching a ton of TV and movies and just wasting my life. I was gaining weight, I was losing the drive that I had, I was losing my passion for startups and technology, and anything good in my life just seemed to be evaporating. And one day, amidst this horrible cycle that I was in, I woke up with a raging hangover. I went out to the bar the night before, I spent nearly all of the money that I had, and when I woke up, which was supposed to be at 10 a.m., it was 12 p.m. I had just missed my first class of the day for the second week in a row. It was pathetic. And I'm embarrassed to say that that wasn't even the worst day I had since I had started being unproductive. But on that day, something inside of me decided that that was enough. I was going to change my life. But I needed to be thoughtful. I couldn't just assume that I could make these massive changes and that everything would happen all at once and that my life would be completely changed. So I did some research to try and figure out the best way to approach changing. And when I did that, I realized that new habits take around 60 days to form. So I decided to start very simply. And I implemented 5 habits, all ranging in size from small ones to large ones, that I thought would make a massive difference in my life. The first and the smallest habit was making my bed. If I did this, I thought it would really help me kickstart my day on the right foot. Right after I woke up, if I made my bed, I would have already accomplished the first thing on my to-do list every single day. I was counting on that momentum to help propel me to do my second habit. The second habit I decided to do was to journal for 5 minutes every single day. I wanted to do this because I wanted to document my life. I wanted to be able to look back in 20 or 30 years from now and understand specifically what I was going through and specifically how I was feeling on any particular day. And I can't imagine how invaluable my documentation will be if I ever achieve any sort of success in my life. The third habit I decided to do was to meditate for 10 minutes every day. And I decided to meditate because 2 people in particular who I admire meditated every single day. And those people are Ray Dalio and Ben Franklin. And so many other really successful people meditate in order to have a clear mind and to build their focus. The fourth habit that I decided to implement was reading for 30 minutes every single day. This came from Walt Disney, Steve Jobs, JFK, Warren Buffett, and so many others read and read a lot. And for me, I wanted to implement that because there's so much that I know that I don't know. And I wanted to be exposed to things that I've just never been exposed to. And the books that I read are chosen based on various problems or situations that I'm going through in my own life. The fifth thing that I decided to do was to exercise 4 times a week for 45 minutes. As you can imagine, it's something that a lot of successful people do, and I knew that I needed to do it for my own health. So I found an exercise online and I just committed to doing it. After figuring all of this out, I had what I needed to start, and the only question that remained for me was if I could actually do this. My first day passed without a hitch, and then my first week passed without a hitch, and then day 10 happened. On day 10, I forgot to journal, and this could have thrown off my entire routine. It could have made me stop doing my habits because I had broken my streak and really kind of ruined the momentum that I had built with everything else I had been doing for the past 10 days. So instead of letting it do that, I decided to implement a rule right then and there, and I call it the 24-hour rule. If I miss a habit one day, I have 24 hours after I miss it to make that habit up. And if I do that, I'll let my streaks continue to build, which then enables my momentum to keep pushing forward. And despite that 24-hour rule really helping me throughout the course of building my habits, I decided that I should probably also implement some other strategies and things to help me along the way based on the fact that I failed so early in my journey. After further research, I realized that 2 strategies in particular could really help me to avoid missing my habits every single day. And the first one is habit batching, And the second thing I do is scheduling. I try and schedule specifically when I'm going to do each of my habits so that I can see on my calendar, oh, it's 9:30, I have to meditate now, and then I have to journal, and then I have free time. So after that first initial slip up, and after these new strategies that I came up with, today, 90 days later, I am so much more focused. I'm able to sit for 2 hours at a time and work on something without easily getting sidetracked or distracted. I accomplish a lot more now every day. I begin my workday around 8:30 a.m. and I'll usually end in most nights past 9 p.m. in addition to doing all of my habits. I'm much more confident now. I mean, just yesterday alone, I reached out to some people that I really admire in the fields of education and technology about my startup to see if they'd be willing to help me. And 2 of the 4 people that I emailed actually responded saying yes. I feel a whole lot better physically now. I have way more energy in my day to the point that when I'm done with my day, when it's 9 something or 10 something at night and I get in bed, it's hard for me just to watch TV and wind down. That's how much energy I feel like I now have in every single day. I look a lot better now. I've lost weight. My skin is cleared up. And as a result of feeling better about the way that I look, I've gotten new clothes. I dress up more often. I just put in a lot more effort with my appearance. I feel much more knowledgeable now. I feel like I'm constantly applying what I've been reading to my actual life, both personally and professionally, in order to make it better. I feel more clear. I understand where I've gone. I understand where I am, and I understand where I'm going. If you had told me that I was going to be here today, 3 months ago, not only would I have thought you were crazy, but I also would have thought that this is the pinnacle of success. And 3 months later, standing here today, knowing what I know now, I can tell you that that is very untrue. I have so much more progress that I can still make. And what I've realized for me is that my life has levels to it. Every time I level up, there's always more that I want beyond. In essence, I'll never truly become limitless if my definition of limitless is clearly defined. I'll only become limitless once I realize that there are no limits to how far I can go and how great I can become. I'm sharing this with all of you because I think we can all do so much more than we think we can every single day. And I think if we did that, our world would be so much better off for it. We'd be more educated, we'd be more clear-minded, we'd be healthier, we'd look better. I mean, we would live in a much better world. And if I could go from a lazy college student to living the life that I'm living now, why can't you? Why can't you commit to waking up earlier and going to the gym or making yourself a healthy breakfast? Why can't you commit 10 minutes a day to journaling or to meditating? Why can't you spend 30 minutes a day reading a great book or learning something new? Why can't you become limitless? Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video and want to subscribe, please do so and turn on my post notifications. And if you have a question or a comment you want to leave, comment down below and I'll respond to every single person who has done that. If you want to follow my progress in starting a company and becoming the kind of person that I need to be in order to be successful with that company, follow me on Instagram @whoismax and on Twitter @maxiswho. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.